Hey, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. We're still here. And welcome to another hot edition to Crystal's Hot Seat. And here's your host.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Crystal's Hot Seat. We have a beautiful guest for you this morning, local actress Anna Maria Sparke, joining us in the hot seat. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Crystal.
Thank you so much for being here. We know that you are so busy and you are in a play right now on Golden Pond. So tell me, how did you first of all get your start in acting?
I was 16 years old and I was a student at Caddo Magnet High School when I took a dance class with Ginger Fulmer, who's also in on Golden Pond. And Ginger said there was a musical coming up in the summer called Hello Dolly, and she wanted me to audition. And I had never done any of that before, but she said, come on in. My audition piece was Happy Birthday. And I got cast in that, and that was 1987, and I've never looked back.
Yeah, how does it make you feel to, get on that stage and perform in front of so many people? Do you get nervous?
I get more nervous being around more of my professional colleagues than I do being in a theater of 308. So it's amazing. I love the audiences. I love the people. So it makes it a little different.
And apparently they love you too. I've heard that you guys have done so well so far. It's been open for about a couple of nights.
That's right.
Yeah, so tell me, so you play Chelsea.
I do. I play Chelsea Thayer Wayne, and Chelsea is the daughter of Norman and Ethel Thayer. Okay. And I get the joy of playing the daughter of two of my favorite people, Richard and Ginger Fulmer, who have been kind of like parents to me. So it's very, very neat.
Awesome. And so tell me about the other cast members. Like, how long have you guys practiced before you actually, open the curtain to do this performance?
Mary Joyce has a little bit of a different rehearsal process, so her rehearsals have been a little bit longer. We've been going a little more than 2 months, working on character development and that sort of thing. A lot of plays don't rehearse that long. They rehearse maybe 4 or 5 weeks. Musicals usually 6 to 8 weeks with music rehearsals and that sort of thing. But because we've had Clay Eves, who plays Bill, and Patrick Haynes, who plays Billy, and then Alan Matheson and Debbie Posey, who are both in there. Alan is Charlie. With Richard and Ginger, we have done everything from sit around the table and work on our lines and character development to actually being on the set. We've been on the set probably a good 3 weeks, and it's a beautiful set. Derek Shiplov did a great job.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
So tell me, how can people get in contact with you guys or get tickets for the show?
They can either call the Shreveport Little Theater box office at 424-4439 and ask for Jamie or Kim.
Okay.
Or they can actually go online. I believe that Shreveport Little Theater has its own website, and you can actually order the tickets online.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you are in the hot seat this morning.
In the hot seat.
So we got a difficult question for her.
Okay.
What is your favorite production of all time?
Ooh, my favorite production of all time has got to be The Sound of Music. And the reason that it is the most special to me is, one, I never thought I'd get the opportunity to play Maria in The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
And two, I met my husband in The Sound of Music. So if I didn't choose that one, I probably would be in trouble.
Yeah, get out of here.
It was wonderful.
It's amazing. That's a win-win for you.
It was a win-win. That's right. Definitely.
Definitely. All right, so tell me, one of my last questions for you before we go to a commercial break here is just tell me, like, what have you gotten, like, the response from the audience members? I'm sure after the play you guys get a chance to talk to them. What have you heard back, like feedback from your play?
Interestingly, last night we actually had a young lady that came up to me and asked me if all daughters and fathers have that kind of acrimonious relationship. So apparently she really identified with my character Chelsea. Yeah. And that's great because that means that they're really with you when you're on stage. Audiences are all different, and some of them are more verbal and some of them are more quiet audiences. I'm a quiet audience member. I have some friends that laugh out loud, so you never know what an audience is going to be, but I just like it that they're actually paying attention, that they love it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
we're going to be right back after this commercial break. Stay with us.
Hot seat.
Special times, or dinner time. It's all about the glass. Libby Factory Outlet, glasses for every occasion.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the architects with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road. Hey everybody, and welcome back to this edition of the Hot Seat. We still have a guest here, Anna Maria. She did not run away.
I didn't run away.
Definitely a plus there. We were talking about, so lots of people are getting a chance to come to see On Golden Pond, Shreveport Little Theater. Talk about that for me.
We have, according to Mary, our director, it looks like we're going to be sold out for the entire run, which is very exciting. It's wonderful to be a part of a play that has that kind of audience response.
Wow. Why do you think it's been like so popular with people?
I think it is a universal theme. It's aging parents dealing with coming to terms with their mortality, and also you bring the daughter into the mix and perhaps there's a relationship that's not resolved. And we all, I think, have a relationship in our lives that isn't quite what we want it to be. Mm-hmm. So it kind of helps us identify with Chelsea and with Norman and with Ethel and how they're negotiating these older years. It's something that if we all are blessed to live long enough, we'll all experience.
Yeah. I want to say Mr. Thompson, the writer of the play. Can't think of his first name.
Ernest Thompson.
Okay. So he wrote the play years ago, and he's starting to evolve the play. Talk about that for me.
Yes, Ernest Thompson has done a lot of revisions of this particular play. Mm-hmm. This play actually had a teleplay done with Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer years ago, and I think that as culture evolves, Mr. Thompson is really interested in making sure his play is relevant. Mm-hmm. So what he's added, according to Mary, on the last several revisions, he's added an additional scene between Bill and Billy, so you can see the relationship of those two, and then also an additional scene with Chelsea and Norman to kind of flesh that out a little bit. So I think Ernest is very, very interested in making sure that the audiences can continue to relate to this piece.
Awesome. All right, so tell me, so you are a local actress here. You do well with that, and you're just very busy. You're a wife as well.
That's right.
So tell me, are you just an actress with Shreveport Little Theater, or do you like go around to different companies in Shreveport? How does that work?
I work with as many different companies as want me. I actually just finished being in a musical called Curtains for Stage Center, mm-hmm. and I'm also slated to be Miss Mona in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas for Stage Center in July. So awesome. I've got that going. I'm actually be performing with the Shreveport Opera when they open Beauty and the Beast in April. And Emmett Hook Center is planning some things for the fall. I'm actually on the board of the Emmett Hook Center, so I've done things pretty much in every theatrical group. So it's kind of exciting.
That is very awesome. I'm very impressed there. Tell me, how do you get into different characters for this, and how do you remember the lines? I mean, it just seems like it's so much.
I think that I have a gift in memorization. I think being an attorney, that helps with all of that. Mm-hmm. But characterization is more difficult. You really have to kind of find those things that are common with you and the character. Yeah. I love playing characters that are completely different than myself. Normally the mean ones. See, I don't get the opportunity to play mean people very much, because I look like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. So I love those because you get to actually explore a whole different side of yourself. The key, I think, is not becoming the character. If you become the character, that's kind of a mental illness. You don't really want to end up being that person. Yeah. You just want to find those things that are similar to you, mm-hmm. and express those to the audience. And that's one of those things the director is very important on, because you think you're doing a great job emoting or whatever, and the director will say, I didn't feel it. I just didn't see you be that character. So it's neat to have a good set of eyes out there watching you.
Now, any tips for if a person, they're watching this and they're mm-hmm. inspired by your performance, how can we, just regular people, get involved into this in Shreveport? We
would love to have any new person come in. Auditioning is the key. You can find out auditions. A lot of times, like Shreveport Little Theater has it on their website. StageCenterLA.org has it on their website. I think that there are lots of things on Facebook you can kind of eyeball and see. One of the great things is I made a wonderful friend when we did Auntie Mame last year at the Shreveport Little Theater. He just walked in the door and I saw him. I said, "You're new." And I went right on over to him, and he's been in every play for every group since that time. So just come and get involved. We'd love to have new folks. We really would.
Wow. Yeah, pretty awesome.
So you need to come out.
Yeah, I will try it. We'll see what happens there. Kind of brush off the vocal cords there. So tell me, so your husband also does acting in Shreveport, but it's a little bit different than theater. Talk about that.
Well, my husband is a member of the Screen Actors Guild. We have a lot of members of that particular guild here in town since of all the film work that's been going on.
Yeah.
As a rule, it's very difficult for film actors to do plays because they could get called away for an audition or for an actual production. And so that pays. That's good money. So they don't really have the time to do plays, because that's very time consuming. It's 3 to 4 hours a night, every night for 6 weeks. So it is a little bit of a different process. My husband loves being a film actor. I joke that he's my movie star. And so it's been fun watching him do some of those kinds of things. I don't know if I would be a candidate for that kind of thing, because you do have to sit around and wait.
Yeah. How did that? It's full, so nobody can buy any more tickets. Is that right?
I think that there may be a few seats left, but we were on our way to being sold out, which is kind of great. We may extend, which means adding an additional performance, and if we do, we'd love to have folks come out and see that as well. So don't be shy. Try to get tickets.
Right.
There may be some seats available.
Awesome. Yeah. What is your most favorite part of the play in Chelsea?
Golly, I love all of the scenes with Ginger Fulmer, because we really relate well, like mother and daughter. I think is fun. But I also love being with Patrick Haynes, because he was my little Patrick in Auntie Mame, and he's grown 1.5 feet since last year. And I just love being on stage with him because he's fun. It's a really cute guy. And then I actually love Charlie, Alan Matheson. Has done a great job, very natural, easy to talk to, and he's always in this play eating and drinking, and so trying to catch him between bites to say his line is kind of fun.
It's awesome. Yeah. And just the set, I just remember seeing the set earlier this week. Like, talk about the design of that. Do you guys like take a part in that of how it's designed, or how does that work?
Usually the set designer will come in and actually draw it out or sketch it out, and I'm not sure if Derek did that beforehand. Yeah. He's just a very talented individual. Everything gets fleshed out. It seems like it starts kind of as just sticks on a stage, and then all of a sudden it starts getting layer upon layer, and the set dressers come out and they do things, and the furniture comes in. So our job is to inhabit it as if it's our home.
That is so cool.
It's neat. I love great sets. They're very much a joy to work on, and when you have a bad set, you feel it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the Hot Seat. We will be right back after this commercial break. Stay with us.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the architects with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road.
Special times, or dinner time. It's all about the glass. Libby Factory Outlet, glasses for every occasion.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people.
To see if we could become something more.
So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. And get this man a shield.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
This
get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop, cause you know I gotta win every day. She didn't really wanna pop me. Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come in, then I gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow, and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing, and then I can get it be doing, cause it doesn't matter, cause I'm gonna did it.
Doritos Blaze, a bold new flavor that brings the heat.
Quiet! Hush your mouth. I told y'all mother, y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if you want me, then come on get me now. Is you with me now? Then biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style.
New Mountain Dew Ice. A clear, refreshing lemon lime dew.
We'll be right back.
I've had 3 people try to eat me today. 3! Ooh, lucky penny. Anyway, sometimes I wish I were human.
Whoa! Look at me! I'm human! Do you want to eat me?
No.
Do you want to eat me?
No thanks.
No? Would you like to eat me? Nobody wants to eat me! I'm the luckiest!
You dropped your lucky penny.
Man, I look good.
You're still short and bald.
Since 1985, J&S Electronics has served the architects with superior electronics from transistors, resistors, and fuses. We carry HDMI cables and a wide selection of AV cables and connectors. We also have a large supply of batteries and tools to handle your projects. Need Cat 6 or CCTV systems? Call us at 318-631-8675 or come see us today at 6437 Greenwood Road.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this edition of The Hot Seat with our special guest for today, Anna Maria Sparke. Welcome to The Hot Seat.
Thank you, Crystal.
Woo! You've stayed.
Yes.
We're excited that you are here.
Thank you.
So excited about just all you're doing with theater. So you play Chelsea on Golden Pond. So tell me, how are you enjoying that? What's your favorite part of just being in the play and working with all the directors and the actors, everybody?
It's been wonderful being a part of this particular cast because it is a small cast, so we really take care of one another. We can kind of sense when someone's perhaps not feeling up to it on a particular night. And I think that working with Mary has been a very different experience. Mary comes from a different background. She's Mr. Meisner trained. I'm a dancer probably first, then a singer, then an actor. Yeah. So for dancers, everything is set out very mechanically, and we kind of follow along. We're very good at mimicry and that sort of thing because of how we have to be trained. Mm-hmm. But Mary's gift is trying to build from the inside out, an organic type of thing. Yes. And that is a little bit stressful for someone who is very regimented like myself. I am a control individual, so I like you to tell me exactly what you expect of me and I can generate that. Yeah. But Mary's very much of, how do you... So that's been great, and watching and working with Richard and Ginger Fulmer has been wonderful because I love those two people like real parents, and so to have them excel in a property like this has really been wonderful.
Awesome. I think it's so interesting how, as we know in our commercial break here, how you only get one shot to do it. And it's kind of like television, if it's live. Just talk about, like, how do you get mentally prepared for this?
One thing I love about theater is that you cannot think about anything else while you're doing it. When you're on stage, if you think about your grocery list or the work you left behind or what's going to happen later that night, it can derail you and you can completely miss the opportunity to say your line correctly. It can put you in a vacuum. Yeah. So you have to really focus in on where you are and what you're doing. For me, I don't like to read outside materials that much. I'll look at pictures and things like magazines before I go on, but I really don't want to read any material that's going to stay in my brain because as you're on stage in front of an audience, if you're not focused in, you'll say the wrong line, and that really can impact adversely your other actor. So
wow,
it's kind of scary, and you only get one shot.
Yeah.
And if you stumble over a word, you just got to keep on going. I actually was in in curtains, and I had a boa that was a problem. It kept tripping me or wrapping around, and they joked because I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I will never give up. I will keep going and going, and that's what you have to do on a live theater. You can't stop and say, oh, sorry, can I do that over?
Yeah.
Because you just don't get a chance.
What have you learned, or how have you evolved as a woman, as a professional, because of your theater background?
I actually love the theater because you get to come into contact with people from all walks of life. You're not walking a very narrow path with people that you choose to socialize with necessarily, and I think that's been great for me. I think it's helped. I have a 16-year-old daughter named Melina, and it's helped her. She's kind of grown up in the theater, come along with me for almost all of the performances, and it helps you realize that there is merit with all kinds of people in all kinds of situations. And I also love the fact that you're working together for a common goal. So even though you have nothing in common with the person you're on stage with, you have everything in common in that moment because you want this show to be successful. And I think for me as a person, it's really been great. It's been wonderful.
That's awesome. Shreveport Little Theater.
Yes.
I've heard, I came to your practice this week.
Yes.
I've heard that it's been around, like it's one of the longest theaters around. Like,
that's right. The longest running community theaters. I believe they're in the 96th season. And Shreveport Little Theater is one of the longest running community theaters in the nation.
Wow.
It's amazing. And every season is a struggle financially. They really need benefactors. And to be able to stay afloat this long is a testament to the longevity of both the vision of Shreveport Little Theater's board of directors and their artistic directors and the community at large. Shreveport's really supported its little theater.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I like how this is, this is obviously Shreveport, but there's just so much stuff to do here. There's so much stuff to be entertained with. You want to get into acting. Talk about that for me, how Shreveport is, it used to be called the Hollywood South, is that right?
That's right, Hollywood South. But that is primarily for the film actors. That was kind of a place for them to be. I think that we had some wonderful set. We have great location shots that you can get because of all the different architecture we have in Shreveport. And our actors are here and they're very willing to work. And I think that's neat too. That's a testament to the people of Shreveport.
Yeah, awesome. All right. All right, but before we go, just hopefully we'll get some, some pictures and everything of your show. But just tell me, so how many nights are you guys going to be at the theater on Golden Pond?
We're running through the end of this weekend, which is a 7:30 show on Saturday night and then a 2 p.m. matinee. Then we pick back up next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we run all the way through the 11th. The Sunday matinees are at 2 o'clock and the evening shows are at 7:30.
Awesome. All right. So when this airs, this will be the final night of the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, unless you guys extend it longer.
Right. It would be great. So, call and write. Ask for it. It'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you'd like to tell the audience members about On Golden Pond, what they should expect to see, or just how they relate to it before we go?
I think On Golden Pond is a show that can reach everybody. So I think that if you come, you'll see yourself or you'll see your family members on stage, because there's always somebody in a family that will look like one of these people. It's very natural, very normal. Yeah. There's a natural dysfunction to it, to say, but it's a warm and loving play. Every actor in this show is loving towards each other, and every character ends up resolved and happy. So it's nice.
Now, will you have any special audience members rooting for you out there?
Yes, I will. My mother, I believe, is going to be able to come along with my husband, and I have lots of friends in the theatrical community that I love to come see my shows, and I always tell them, show me some love, come on, because I clapped really hard for you, so I need you to do the same thing for me, or I'll blot them from the Book of the Lamb.
So if you guys go to this play, you just know to,
root for Chelsea.
Root for Chelsea.
Woo! Chelsea.
Can we hear a little bit of Chelsea? Just give us a little bit of Chelsea.
Sure. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. One of the things with Chelsea is that she loves her mother, and she's a little bit of a takeoff on her dad. Her dad is very jovial. So one of the mother says that they don't have a dog because her father launches into a diatribe about how it's not fair to get a puppy when you're planning to die soon. And so Chelsea's thing is, well, you could have gotten him an old dog, something on its last leg. And the mother says, oh, but he's still mourning Chum, I'm afraid. Chum is our Labrador Retriever that passed on just 20 short years ago. So it's one of those things that Chelsea is got that acerbic wit of her dad with the sweetness of her mother.
I can tell.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I can tell just your passion for this play.
I love it.
We definitely need to check it out.
Do.
So,
then come out and audition. Come and be a part of it. We'd love to have you.
And how can people get information about just auditioning for the plays?
I think you could probably look on Facebook. There are many little different groups, Shreveport auditions and that sort of thing. Yeah. And then find out the theaters that are actually producing shows. And I think that Facebook is a great place. Most of the theaters do that. Shreveport Little Theater has in advance their season. Emmett Hook does the same thing. So Emmett Hook Theater, Stage Center, Mahogany Theater, there's all kinds of things that are out there. Just look, River City Rep, look and see, because there's so many different Academy of Children's Theater. Try to find all the different groups that are doing things because there's a place for you somewhere in that mix.
Now, how do you what do you take with you to the audition? Is it like what is it called, the headshot, or just do you take a resume? What do you do?
In a perfect world, you take a headshot, a resume, and bring several monologues and a song, depending on if it's a musical or a straight play. A lot of the times, the directors will tell you exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You don't have to have all that, though. You can just show up for a lot of these and just show up and sign your name, and they'll get information. They usually have a face sheet that'll let you fill out all your information, and then if they want to hear something, it's always important to find out, what do you want me to do when I get there? Do you want me to sing? Is there a dance call? Like for Memphis, there'll probably be a dance call, because I think there's dancing in that, and then singing, and then doing a monologue, a very short monologue, because they just need to see what you look like. And don't be afraid. Please come out, because you learn by doing. I actually have an undergraduate degree in theater, but I learned just a lot from being in the shows themselves, and the directors are very nice. I don't know that there's anybody in town that's just mean and would say, no, don't call us, we'll call you. I don't think that's how they roll. So. And
apparently you've been very successful with it. Like, what are your tips for contacting the directors or just how do you do
I think my gift has been just staying in it. There's a lot of folks that come and they'll do one or two shows and then life happens and they don't get a chance to come back. It's a passion for mine. For me, it's like an avocation. Yeah. So I love doing it, and people say, well, why don't you take a break? And I said, there'll come a time when they don't ask me to do it anymore. And when they don't ask me, then I'll stay home and learn to knit or something. Yeah. But as long as people are asking me, I can't say no. I love to do it. I love to be on stage in front of people and make people happy. So.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years with the theater?
Well, I would like to think that I'm still doing roles in both straight plays and musicals. Musicals are kind of my passion. Yeah. You never know. I think in 5 years there may be a new crop of young people that have come up and gotten as old as I am and can take my parts from me. So maybe that could be you. That could be you. That could be anybody. Yeah. So come on and take my parts from me. I'm fine with sharing the love.
Any legacy that you'd like to leave on those future actors and actresses, or just?
I'd love it if people thought that they either wanted to emulate me as far as being, starting out as a dancer. They say I'm a triple threat. I'm kind of weaker in certain areas than others, but I'd love people to say that I inspired them to do something. There's one time that we did both The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, and there is a young man named Carson who has some physical challenges, and he sang every song for The Sound of Music with me, and when he came to Mary Poppins, he did the same thing, and I'll send you his picture. Yeah. He's just a joy, and what's wonderful about Carson is he didn't say, oh, you're Mary Poppins. He's called me by my name, so he knows that I'm the actress that plays those things. And so that's kind of the legacy I want to leave. I also think that dance comes from your soul, so at some point I would love to do something with physically challenged children to be able to show them that they too can dance and they can express themselves through movement. So, yeah.
Well, it's definitely always important to leave a legacy, and that's something that you at home should also think about, what legacy you will leave behind. All right, we thank you guys so much. We enjoyed having you here in the hot seat.
Thanks, Crystal.